A new series of readings for March of 2026. This month's readings are written by Reverend Christie Hardwick. And she says about herself, she's a former tech executive and she's been a CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living Minister, for about 18 years. Her portfolio ministry is in service to leaders with a focus on social justice organizations. And she said, as a facilitator and coach of leadership development with a spiritual lens, she's supported hundreds on the front lines. Now she has turned her attention to writing, and she's written 4 books, 2 published in the past few years. Her subjects include radical self-tenderness, exploring to what end we are living with radical accountability. She and her partner Jane share 4 children and 7 grandchildren. And the front cover, actually, if it will come back here, is from a lady who's actually going to be quoted quite a bit during the month's readings, Audre Lorde. You'll find out about her shortly. How do I hold faith with sun in a sunless place? How do I hold faith with sun in a sunless place? And this is what Reverend Christie says about her readings this month. She asked a question. How conscious are we of the world within? The realm of our inner landscape greatly determines what we experience in the outer realm. We live in the world that we create every moment of every day. She says, during this month honoring women's history, fresh off a month focused on Black history, we celebrate the work of activist and visionary Audre Lorde. Sharing the voice of Ernest Holmes and that of a queer Black feminist poet and writer is a way to celebrate the diversity that exists in unity. She says, our world seems fractured, but our words can heal. And listening to voices that may not always be heard offers us a fresh perspective on life's central questions. Breaking from the tradition, she says, I chose 2 quotes from Ernest Holmes that repeat each day, and a quote each day from Audre Lorde. I found the repetition of the Ernest Holmes quotes powerful, and I hope it serves you well. So, let's see how that goes. So we'll see. So here we go. It's called Proceed with Clarity and Courage. Proceed with clarity and courage. First quote is from Audre Lorde. When I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. And this is the first quote from Ernest Holmes. Both quotes are from the Science of Mind textbook. And the first one is on page 302. All the power in the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. And the second one is on page 59, which says, as the universe is run by an infinite mind, so our life is controlled by our thinking. Ignorance of this keeps us in bondage. Knowledge will keep us free. Yeah, I'll give a little bit of my perspective on this at the end, okay? Knowing that the part of the universe is within us invites us to dare greatly. If, as Audre Lorde says, we use this power in service of our vision, then we must be really clear what that vision is. And she says, in the Science of Mind teaching, for instance, it talks about a world that works for everyone. And bringing that to fruition requires clarity and courage. It's easy to say that we include everyone in our ideal world, but the actual creation of belonging takes serious focus and action. Are there people whom you feel afraid to include? Could association with people of immigrant status put you at risk for being caught up in the sweeping raids? Could inviting people who are unhoused be too challenging to have them at your table? Do we want the world to work for the relatives who hold political ideas that are in direct conflict to your right to exist or act on your own values? And she says, if, as Ernest Holmes shares, we are indeed in a universe run by an infinite mind, then for sure we can trust this infinite mind to guide our thinking. If we would surrender to it, the guidance will free us to act in a way that creates a new world. So that's the challenge. And I don't know that we can all fulfill all of that challenge. But I will say one thing. Yes, our thinking and our feeling, our belief, influences what goes on in our life. But it's unfair to blame people when things happen to them to say, well, you brought this upon yourself, because it's complicated. I mean, it's very complicated. There is your individual mind. There is the group human subconscious mind. There is the universal subjective mind and all that's going on in those minds, and they all interact and affect each other. But it's the height of bad spiritual practice to say to somebody, well, you brought this on yourself. Maybe they did, but maybe they didn't, because as I said, it's complicated. So, I mean, I know people who go about thinking negatively and seeing the worst, and yeah, quite often the worst happens to them. But I would never say, hey, you're to blame for what's happened to you. I would never ever say that. Will encourage them to change the way they think and to start moving in a positive direction. But to assign blame, that's entirely, in my humble opinion, not the way that you proceed in life. But the challenge that she gives us is, are we prepared to put our money where our mouth is? And it's really as simple as that. Also, I'll see how I feel about seeing the same two quotes from Ernest Holmes every day. It's kind of like an affirmation, right? We're getting it every day, and it becomes an affirmation in itself. And her affirmation is, let me be strong in service to my vision of humanity united in peace. Let me be strong in my service to let me be strong in service to my vision of humanity united in peace. Or you can choose whichever one you want. And this is for you to think about. It's for you to cogitate on, to see how you feel about it. And if you want to make comments on this might actually be a good month to bring people back into my broadcast and have a discussion on them. I think, yeah, probably this will be a pretty good month to do it. So anyway, please look out for my colleague Reverend Lisa Ryan tomorrow on Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page at 9:15. Look out for me tomorrow evening on whatever social media you get me. And my vision for the world is one that works for everyone. My vision for the world is a world of peace. Is the world at peace right now? No, and yes and no. There are parts that are and there are parts that aren't. And it's our job to hold peace in our minds. And when my mind strays from that, I'm going to bring it back. And I'm knowing for each and every one of you that when your mind strays from that, you bring it back. And that, my friends, is my prayer for today. So until next time, namaste.